This is called The Mitten by Jan Brett. It's like a folk tale. It's a story that's been around for a long time. It has really neat pictures. See, like that? Okay. Once there was a boy named Nicki who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. Now, I want you to pay attention to the pictures on the side of the page, too. See how they're shaped like a mitten? And there's things that are happening on the side of each page, too. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she said, you'll never find it because it's white. But Nicki wanted snow white mittens, and finally, Baba made them for him. Baba means that's his grandmother's name. That's what he calls his grandmother. After she finished, she said, when you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you have your snow white mittens. So off Nicki went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and got left behind. Can you point to the mitten in the snow? He wanted those white mittens, and they were the same color. Boop, right there. Now, what's coming next? What's this thing? We'll have to see. It's an animal. A mole. It's a mole. A mole who was tired from tunneling along discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. He burrowed, that means he climbed in and pushed it around so he could get in. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. I guess he fit in there. What animal's coming next? Yep, a rabbit. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and he wiggled inside the mitten, feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. Oh, now they're both in the mitten. Aren't they? Let's see what's next. I see an animal coming right here. That looks like a porcupine, maybe? Let's see. Oh, it's not. It's a hedgehog. Next, a hedgehog. You know the game Sonic the Hedgehog? Well, a hedgehog is a real animal. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself up. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. Look at them all trying to fit in that mitten. They're squeezing in there. Oh, what's coming next? What animal is that? An owl. Let's see what the owl, do you think the owl can fit inside this mitten? As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, that's his big talons, like his claws, they quickly let him in. So at first the animals don't want the other animals to come in, but then they say, well, we better not argue with this guy. Because if you notice, the animals are getting bigger, aren't they? The rabbit, the mole, the hedgehog, they're getting bigger as they come along. And now the owl's really big. Uh-oh, guess what's coming next? Do you see it? Who's that? Yep, a skunk. All right, let's see. Up through the snow appeared a badger. I thought it was a skunk. It's a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. So they gave him the thumb of the mitten for the badger. See if you can see the pictures okay. Oh, look what's coming next. What's that animal over there? It starts with our letter F for fox. Watch me be wrong again. Mrs. Petty is not with it today. That definitely looks like a fox. It is. Look at this mitten now. It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. That means really tired, like, oh, drowsy, I want to take a nap. The fox poked his muzzle in when the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth. They gave the fox lots of room. Oh goodness, what's coming next? What's this? A bear. I want you to try to remember the names of the animals because I'm going to ask you at the end what animals went inside the mitten. Oh boy, a great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up, not being one to be left out in the cold. He began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be, but what animal would argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged too many times its size. But Baba's good knitting held fast. Can you believe the mitten is not bursting yet? Oh, what's coming here? Look at that animal. Do you think the mitten is going to just rip open because it can't fit any more animals? Let's see. Along came a meadow mouse. Now, is a mouse small and all the other animals are big? Yeah, a mouse is small. In fact, my son has been catching mice in our garage, a whole mouse family, and they're very small. No bigger than an acorn. She wriggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. Look at that. Point to the mouse. Let's see, right there he is, right on the bear's nose. Look, look who's next coming in the picture. Let's see what he does. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Ah, 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 achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. Oh my goodness, he sneezed and the mitten burst. That's a lot of animals to fit inside a mitten. Every time my kids tell me their mittens don't fit, I'm probably going to have to read them this story because boy. Okay, so on his way home, Nicki saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost mitten silhouetted against the blue sky. Look, Nicki found his mitten. I'm sure it's going to have to be mended, right? Let's see. As he ran to catch his snow white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his new mittens. He found it, and he's running home to Baba. Does he look happy to have his mitten? I think so. And oh, look at her looking at the mittens. Baba's wondering, what is she thinking about there? Well, that's interesting. She's probably thinking, what? Why is one of these mittens so big and one of them regular size? And that's The Mitten by Jan Brett. And I want you to tell your parents what animals you saw in the story.